Jacob Wilkins back here with A.J. Sager on our pregame show. A.J., thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's start with Yoander Suarez being named the Eastern League Pitcher of the Week. Third time for him in just 8 AA appearances dating back to last year. What was your initial reaction?
Yeah, I mean, he's just, all I've seen him be is good and consistent and, gets us deep into ball games. And, obviously the no-hitter last year against Hartford, for most of us was a very rare occasion. To see that and to come back this year and throw 6 and third against Hartford, perfect again. So I'm not exactly sure why that happens when it lines up like that against a certain team. But fundamentally, he just does a lot of things right. He puts himself in good counts. He mixes speeds, very competitive, does his homework before games. So he does all the prep work, the things that lead up to success. So you're always glad when that happens.
How about those 6 and a third perfect frames coming out of the bullpen for a starter? How challenging is that? How do you get yourself in a starter's mindset?
Yeah, and that's a good point, and I think most of it is above the neck. You're just so used to having 30 minutes, well, really all day and all week to prepare, but 30 minutes in the bullpen to get yourself loose. And here we do our best to try to give him that same type of notice, but sometimes you don't really know. And I think if you mentally can get past the fact that all I really need to do is get my arm loose and then go out there and the job's the same, and that's easier said than done, but that's exactly what he did. He came in, in an awkward situation for him or an unusual situation. He pitched a little bit out of the bullpen in the spring, but I thought he just handled it real well. He went about his work the way he always does, and, obviously the results followed.
A guy that also had to do that in following a rehabber is Blade twice. And then on Sunday, in a more traditional starting sense, last 2 times, 8 innings, career high. What has been the key to his success?
Yeah, Blade's just been in the zone a lot more often this year. Last year we kind of had every other outing where he was throwing strikes and doing good, and then next outing he'd be out of the zone. It wouldn't go as well. So it was a little bit choppy last year, but we've always seen that when he's in the zone, he's tough to do much against. And so this year he's just put himself in better situations in that regard. And another one that prepares very well, has 4 pitches, 5 pitches, all of quality. So if he's getting 3 or 4 of those, let alone 5 of them in the zone, then it's a pretty tough at bat, and that's what he had going on Saturday. So.
And you get it, team's first shutout of the year. That was something this team did often. That had to feel good.
Yeah, it did. You try not to pay attention too much to some of the numbers, but if you're holding the team to no runs, you've done things pretty well, probably from a development standpoint as well. And plus, we don't really watch it, but you're aware of it because they're hard to get. It's hard to go through a lineup, for 9 innings and not have somebody come across the plate for some reason. So it's always fun when that happens.
You have a good Portland lineup here, and you have a pitcher in Stu who a couple of outings ago had the career-high 12 strikeouts. How have you seen him build from a strong end to last season?
Yeah, he's, again, another one came up last year and had a lot of success, and then had a little bit of arm fatigue at the end, and we shut him down out just being conservative, and so he had a full off season to get himself back healthy, and it's pretty much the same repertoire he had last year. We're just trying to do a few different things to help him with left-handed hitters. Another big guy with a lot of extension and a physical fastball. So, but this is a good challenge up here. For whatever reason, it's hard to come to this place and play well for a lot of teams, and so that part, and then you add in the fact that it's a good offensive team. They can run the bases, give you tough at bats, and but I like that. I think these guys need to understand that's what it's going to be like going up the ladder. So it's good to put them in that challenge and see how they react and see what we can learn from it.
Lastly, and I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but I don't think I ever asked you, how much did it mean to be named that Mets Staff Member of the Year?
I mean, it does. The humbling part to me is just, even on our staff last year, there's 2 or 3. It's like, well, what did I do that they didn't, And so, throughout the organization, there's a lot of people doing really good work. So it's a little bit awkward maybe to be singled out in that type of situation. But I will say that it's rewarding because, I'm not the youngest guy on the staff anymore, and I've done a lot of work to try to stay relevant and try to stay up to speed with the stuff that's going on in the game that really I think can help players. I try to sort it out from what's, maybe just a little bit of busy work to what's, okay, this truly will help a player. And so I guess when you get recognized for something like that, it means maybe that you're focusing in on the right things and still being able to move players towards the major leagues. And, that's why I come to work every day. So I do appreciate the fact that they nominated me and selected me. I just think it's a little bit awkward to be singled out like that, but I'll accept it.
Well, I'll say well-deserved. And I said lastly, but I have one more. What was it like? How much satisfaction did it bring you to see Christian pitch the way he did on Saturday night?
Yeah, it's just, I'm so happy for the kid, right, or the guy. He's another one, just does everything right on and off the field. great teammate, takes information from coaching, works his tail off, just all those things. So it's always nice to see when somebody gets an opportunity that they've worked so hard to get, and that's certainly the case with him. And then to go out there, and I thought it was very Christian-like. The first inning, made some good pitches and got into some bad situations, but he never stopped, and it would have been easy to crumble and let the major league house fall in on you, because that's a hard level to kind of sustain the walls up there when it's not going great. But he just stayed the course, competed, turned it into a really good outing, and to me that was a signature Christian Scott outing.
Case study and resilience you can show to these guys, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough level up there, and but I thought he stuck his nose in there and competed, and he didn't quit competing, and then he ended up getting on top of the match, and ended up, in my opinion, won the fight. So I was real proud of him.
Good to catch up with you, AJ. Thanks for the time.
Thanks.